when we talk about vendors, we're talking about please, everybody, please turn on your video. In the next 10 minutes, I don't see people turn on their video. I'm going to start removing people from the class randomly. It's part of the class rules. Okay, so the procurement scenario, you are working with the procurement department, you are a BI, you are the BI person in the department. Now, this company usually, they deal with a lot of stakeholders, a lot of vendors rather, that they've been authorized to sell different products to them, right? Now, however, the management, as they are suspecting that some products are purchased without valid contracts, right? So I want you to note that some products are purchased without valid contracts, which, while some contracted products may never even eventually be purchased, right? Your task is to build a Power BI report that analyzes the relationship between vendor contracts and actual procurement transaction. Now, let me read that part again. Your task is to build a Power BI report that analyzes the relationship between vendor contracts and actual procurement transaction. Now, does anybody understand what the scenario is? If anybody understands this, please let me know. If you understand the scenario from oh, my camera is not showing and I didn't know. And you didn't tell me, Isaiah. Oh. Aha. Okay, showing now. Okay. I want you guys to just calm down, read the scenario once again. If you understand it, you can raise up your hand so that you can explain what you understand. Understanding the requirement is very, very important before jumping into what we want to do. Okay, Mr. Osman, your hand is up.
Yeah, so basically my understanding of this project is that the company has some approved vendors on their list, and these vendors, they've already signed like a master contract agreement with them so that these vendors can be supplying them certain products or materials for them. So now management is observing that, maybe the procurement manager is observing that there are some products that are not approved on the contract list, which some vendors are procuring, and there are some that were approved that they are not even purchasing at all. So which is a compliance issue, okay, and it needs to be resolved. So they need to keep track of all those kind of changes,
okay,
in the system. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Any other person? What is your understanding of the scenario? Any other person?
I think at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what's decision the business intelligence solution is trying to build is to fish out fraud in the system at the end of yeah.
Fish out fraud. Okay. Thank you. Any other person? How do you understand the scenario? Should I start calling names? Bernard, how do you understand it? You are Muto.
Yeah, Mr. Benga, I'm trying to go through the scenario. I'll get back to you maybe in some minutes.
You get back to me when? Is it until Jesus come? In case you see yourself being removed from the class, just know that it was because you didn't turn on your video. Okay, so as everybody has said, the scenario is the procurement scenario once again. We want to actually know how many products was contracted, how many was actually procured. We want to know how many was contracted and not procured, how many was contracted and procured, How many was not contracted and procured? Is that clear to us? Procured, contracted, contracted and procured, contracted and not procured, not contracted and procured. Is it clear to us? So these are the tables that we have. These are the tables that we have. We have DIM category. So the scenario is like a snowflake schema kind of scenario where you have nested dimensions. That is, you have dimensions table that connect to each other, right? So what we are going to do is that because we want to build a star schema, we are going to denormalize all these dimensions into just one single dimension table, right? Now we have DIM product category, we have DIM product subcategory. You can see the columns that they all the table, their keys and the other attributes that they have. And you see how they are connected. So you have product table connected to product subcategory table by what? By subcategory ID. And you have subcategory table connected to category table based on category ID. Is that part clear? That's nested dimension, like an hierarchical way of breaking down the product dimension. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Francis, why you want to show like spirit like this? Okay, no problem. So now our product table has what is called, we call an SCD type 2 table. Can somebody tell me what SCD type 2 table is? Anybody? SCD type 2.
Yeah, it's a slowly changing dimension where the data changes.
What actually changes, sir? This is a product table. So what is changing?
Yeah, the product ID.
Why is it changing? What can cause about a change?
Yeah, maybe you change one of the attribute, maybe the name of the product changes, or maybe you rename it.
Well, in this scenario, the best example is changes in price.
Price, okay.
Changes in price is what usually make a product table to be slow changing dimension type 2 most of the time. So for those that are new to that concept here, SCD type 2 is a kind of dimension table where the dimension changes, the attribute changes because of different reasons. So in this scenario now, our price is changing. So in that kind of table, what you will see is that the product ID, which is the primary key for that product table, will start repeating itself. And it's because of changes in price. So from a particular start date to a particular end date, the price was $120. Now it is now $150. Now the other use something like effective date and effective start date and effective end date. So you see another column like is current. It means that if the price is still current, it's going to be 1. If it's not current again, it's going to be 0. Are we clear on that SCD type 2? If it's not clear, please just raise up your hand, please, so I can re-explain it. Okay, so I assume it's clear. Okay, now we have a vendor.
Sorry, Benga.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, both the historical and the current data are still stored there, right? In that scenario.
They are stored, yes.
They are still stored there. Okay.
Both historical and current, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
So
okay.
So in this case now, the standard cost is what is changing, right?
Is what is changing, exactly.
Okay.
Is what is changing, exactly. Yeah. So this is an assumption that this is the data warehouse you are dealing with. This is the kind of data that the data engineer has provisioned for you to use for these reports. Or this is what is available. I mean, what is obtainable, right? Okay. After you gather the requirements, this is the table that you are dealing with. Now, we have another table called vendor that lists all the vendors. Your unique list of all vendors, right? We have the vendor type, the vendor name, the vendor rating, blah, blah, blah. Now, we have a table called bridge table that brings together vendor and the product, because one vendor is selling more than one product, right? That's the possibility. Now, one product too also belongs to different vendor. it means that the same different vendor can be selling the same product. Because in a typical scenario, procurement scenario, you cannot rely on one vendor for a product, right? Maybe for example now you are selling soap. For example, you might have like 20 vendors that are supplying you the same, because there are times that vendor A will have, vendor B will not have the product at hand at that time. Vendor C might say, oh, I can supply you only 2,000 packs for now. Vendor A can say, I don't have up to that. I can only supply you 500, right? So this bridge vendor table is the bridge vendor product table is the table that brings together the vendor and the product together. Is that clear? That means you will see vendor ID appear, and you see vendor ID appear, and you're now going to now start seeing. Let me remove somebody again, and you now start seeing what's it called? Sorry, hold on for me. You will now start seeing
Product ID.
Product ID to repeat. Like one vendor ID can repeat several times. Then you see all the product the person is selling. Another vendor ID again repeats several times. You see different products that they are selling and all of those things. So those are the that's the structure of that table. That's the structure of the table. Okay. DIM region. This is the region that we are that the business is operating, right? The region where the business is operating is the DIM region. That one is very simple. Location too. So region is a higher level to location, right? So we are also going to denormalize this together too in our Power Query. And we now have the fact table. I think we have two fact tables. Yes, we have the purchase order. All the orders are going there. All the orders are going there. All the orders are going there, right? As I'm making the order from to the vendor, this is the table that records all the purchase order information, right? You see the purchase order ID, the products. Now, I'll talk about something. Does anybody have an idea of what is called a surrogate key? A surrogate key. And where do we apply surrogate key?
So normally, since it's a fact table, so a fact table contains the surrogate key of all the associated dimensions. So, for example, now in this purchase order now, we have the product surrogate key. So basically the product surrogate keys, those are the dimension, which is the product dimension that we have that is connected to each of the vendor. Okay, so that is why we have the surrogate key here in the fact table.
Can you explain that? I'm confused.
Okay, so let me start by saying that. Let me start by defining what a fact table is. Okay. So a fact table contains the facts. Okay, so which are the measures? For example, in this table now, the measures are the quantity ordered, the unit price, and the total amount. Okay, so it also contains the surrogate keys of the associated dimensions. So in this table now, we have location ID, we have vendor ID, and we have the product surrogate key. So these three 1, 2, 3, okay, the vendor ID, location ID, and the product surrogate key, those are the associated dimensions. That is the dimensions, the vendor table, the product table, and the location table, okay, which has been denormalized. So the reason why this one, they are just vendor ID and location ID, and why this is just product SK, is because we should not lose the fact that our product is a slowly changing dimension, which is an SCD type 2. Okay, so that was why we have all these three here, because they are the associated dimension to this fact table. So, and of course, the product, the purchase order ID, that's the primary key for this table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me recap it. Let me, how will I put the word? So some of us are used to primary and foreign key. That's the one we understand, right? Now, sorry. If you go through Ralph Kimber Dimensional Modeling, third edition, he explained a lot of things, and he talked about different kind of keys. We have primary, foreign, that's the one we know. We have surrogate, composite, natural keys. Now, why do we introduce surrogate key? If you look at this dimension table that we have, is the STD type 2. Now, you know that if you connect this product ID to the facts table, it's going to give you a many-to-many relationship. Am I correct, guys?
That is correct.
It's going to give you a many-to-many relationship, right? So the only way you can make each row to be unique is by introducing what is called a surrogate key, right? Now, instead of you to now have product key as the foreign key inside of your purchase order table or your fact table, what you now have there is the surrogate key. So the product surrogate key will now be the connecting key between your facts table and this your STD type 2 dimension table. The only reason why you're using surrogate key is because you don't have a unique list of product ID again because of the type of table that table is. I mean your dimension table. Does it make sense to us, guys? Bernard, we are laughing. It seems you're happy today.
No, I'm
the class is too easy today, Abby.
No.
Okay, now let's go ahead. So that's the reason for introducing the surrogate key. The surrogate key will now be our new primary key now, connecting us to the fact table. Is that part clear before we go ahead? Isaiah, the way you are thinking about it, eh?
It's clear.
Okay,
I'm just thinking of cases whereby okay, cases whereby the surrogate key may not necessarily. Are there cases whereby the surrogate may not get the surrogate key and the composite key may not really get the result one wants?
In what scenario is that?
That's why I'm trying to gather my thoughts. Okay, I know there was a project I work on whereby we have to introduce the bridge table in such a way that we have to union. We have to union table A, the IDs in table A and table B. I union them together. I then remove duplicate to make them unique. So I now connected
I didn't get
to,
that. You mean you merge the two columns together to form a
union the two columns together.
Okay.
Just because it was giving me I'm
saying
this because
there's an issue with that
using
method, Isaiah. There's an issue with that method. And the issue is performance.
Yes.
And another issue is that you'll be having high cardinality like that if you do it that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? The best way, because for everything that we do, oh, sorry, my charger. For everything that we do, we should, as a Power BI professional, we should always consider performance. So surrogate key is artificially generated key. It means that it has no business meaning. And using numbers is one of the best way to ensure performance when it comes to relationship between tables. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. The one that you are joining two columns together, that one is composite key. It's not bad in its own, but the problem is performance. Because we want to always ensure performance, and that one will bring a high level cardinality to your model. But it now makes what is supposed to be the unique identifier to be very long. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I understand what you are saying.
Okay.
But so I'm saying that, sorry.
Go ahead,
the reason I had to resort to that to solve the problem as at that time was because the surrogate key could not solve the problem. I don't know how to explain. I'm trying to look for the right word
to solve the problem. How come?
It's good now because the way the data, it's more like, okay, let me give an example. For instance, let's say we have 5 rows. So out of that 5 rows, 3 out of the 5 rows has the same ID. 3 out of the 5 rows has the same ID, such that, and those IDs, so such that if I use a surrogate key will make them unique. However, the goal is not to.
Can you come again?
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that, assuming we have 5 rows.
Okay.
Now, out of that 5 rows, I have like 3 ID. and those transactions, there are 3 IDs, but those transactions were performed at different points in time. But there are 3 IDs. If I introduce a surrogate key, it's going to make those 3 records unique.
Are you talking about fact table or dimension table?
I'm talking about fact table.
So no, the scenario you are painting here is dimension.
Okay.
So I think I understand the scenario you're talking about. The scenario you're talking about is, for example, you have probably you have like, so maybe like an order ID now. So because there are different products in one order, and the order ID now start repeating.
Exactly.
In a fact table.
Yes.
And so, for a fact table, well, if you want to make every row to be unique, you can also introduce a surrogate key also. But since what you'll be doing mostly is getting the distinct count of the orders, it's just to run a distinct count on the order ID. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't necessarily need to introduce a surrogate key for a fact table in that scenario. Okay. If you want to get a unique count, a distinct count of all the orders, you just run a distinct count on the order ID. So even though it repeats, it just gives you a distinct count.
Okay, Mr. Benda, continue. there are a lot of dimensions to continue, sir. But I get your point. I really get your point, sir.
So this is our delivery table. So we separated the two. It's not, this is how they structure the data warehouse, just an assumption. So you see facts, vendor delivery. Now, required metrics. We need to know the number of contracted products. We need procured products, contracted and procured, contracted and not procured, procured without contract. Is the metric clear before we go ahead? Is the metric clear, guys?
Yes, it is clear. At least this is the business. This is the business rules. So
okay, so let's go. So I don't know how I'm going to share this file with you guys anyway, because I wanted to share it here, but it seems like it's not possible. So I'm going to look.
Is it possible to be shared via the email?
Since maybe I'll do that after the class.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do that after the class. Yeah. Okay. So I'm connecting to the file now. I'm assuming that it's a data warehouse I'm connecting to. Just an assumption. But my data is on Excel. Okay. So these are all the tables I have here. These are all the tables: vendor, location, subcategory, region, purchase order, purchase, vendor delivery. So I'm going to click on transform as usual. So I'll quickly do some transformations. The purpose is to make it a star schema because Power BI is optimized for a star schema. So Snowflake schema usually brings about ambiguity and complexity, right? So let us load it as fast as possible. Let's load, be fast. Our time is really fast spent. Some people that did not switch on their video, I'm trying to remove some of them. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay. Okay, our table is ready now. I want to remove somebody else before we start. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's go ahead. So now that I think I have to open the Power Query part. Why is it showing here this on this screen? Okay, you can see the Power Query, right? So we have the bridge vendor product. We are not doing anything much on this one. Everything looks good. Okay, we have to change this one to dates. Replace current. This one to dates. So for now, there's no budget that we've ended contract with. So that's why this one is still there. Vendor flag. I don't know. I don't even remember what this vendor flag is. Okay, let's go to location. So we have to make first row, use first row as headers for this one. So we have the location ID, city, and the region ID. So now we have to do this. I'm going to do something. I'll go click on new group. I'll call this one EPA queries. I'll call it EPA queries. I'll click on OK. So, let me rename this one. Let me rename this one as our actual table. Actual table. Right? So this one is like, let me rename this one to be EPA queries. Oh, why can't I rename it? So these are the tables that will give us, that will just lead us to the actual table that we need. So this one now, I can move it to the bridge table. I can move it to the actual table folder. Then I'll come to location. I will merge query as new. Merge query as new. I'll combine location table with region table together. Right? So I will do that. I will use region ID to do that. Region ID, region. Oh, I have to clean that region table first. So here's the region table now. I'll come here. I would make use first row as headers, right? Okay. I'll come to location table now. I will do merge query as new. Merge query as new. Okay. So region is going to be based on region ID, right? I'll click on OK. Right. So I have what's it called now? So I need just the region name from the region table. Is it making sense to us, guys? So this will be our new region table now. Region new, right? I'll move it to the actual table folder. Those are the ones that we are going to load in as our data model. Okay, so I don't need this one again. My STD type 2 table 2 should move to the actual table section. Now I'm going to also do for what's it called? The DIM product subcategory and product table. So we come together. So I'm going to start from let me look at the product category table. Okay, use first row as headers for this one too. Subcategory table also, use first row as headers. Okay, then where's the product table? Is it by how is that you spending me like this? Okay, I'll move it here. So I was wondering where is the table. Let me move it back here for now. So I'm going to merge query.
Merge query as new?
Yes. But I'll merge everything inside the product table. That's what I will do. I will merge everything inside the product table. So I'll look for product subcategory first. Right? Based on subcategory ID. And I'm going to click on OK. Left join. And I'll come here. I would have I just need the subcategory name from this one. Right? Subcategory name from this one. Okay. And I'll also do another merge again. So I'm going to also merge with the product category table now. With the product category table, right? And it's now going to be based on, oh, I made a mistake here. So when I was merging the other time, I was supposed to, when I was expanding rather, I was supposed to choose the category ID, right? So I'll do another merge quickly. This one will now be the category information now. So product category come here, and based on the category ID, the category ID and the category ID here. Why is it not allowing me to pick it? Okay. Category ID. Yeah. Then I'm going to merge again. Right. Then I'm going to come here. And what I just need is the category name. And I'll click on OK. Okay, perfect. So now I can now move this one to the actual table section. Okay, what the other table needs attention? Vendor. This one has a distinct list of all the vendors. I can move it to actual table. My purchase order also goes to actual table section, and also my vendor delivery. So these ones are not going to be loaded into the model. So let me disable load for them. But by the virtue of, if there's a refresh, by the virtue of dependency, they are going to also refresh, even though they are not loaded into the model. I hope that's clear to us.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello,
the next
sir.
thing we are going to do.
Before you
Yeah.
go,
Yes.
the DIM product subcategory, I think you did not click on the disable load. You clicked on the other one. Right click on LSC.
Okay.
No, yes, this one, yeah.
No, I disable load. See.
But when you were okay, I thought you clicked on the okay.
Yeah, I disabled load for everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now that we have our star schema kind of structure now, right? We can now load, we can now close and apply. We can now close and apply. Okay. Close and apply. And we are now going to go and build our model. Don't forget that the reason why we are here today is basically for modeling, not for Power Query transformation per se. So let this one load now, and I'm now going to show you exactly why we are here. Can you guys see my screen?
Oh, I'm
No,
not seeing your screen. No.
No, your screen is gone.
Okay, sorry. Are you seeing it now?
Just coming up.
It's coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Let me look for somebody else I can remove. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's go ahead. Yes, so now we have our tables loaded. So we're going to go to the model part. That's why we are here today. I have to start deleting one by one. Oh God, I did not turn off that stuff. Sorry about this, guys. Oh my God, this thing will start wasting time.
Sorry, which stuff did you did not turn off?
There's a setting on the option and settings that I need to turn off that will not allow this auto relationship detection to work. It's turning off the auto detect relationship.
Oh.
Okay, so as we normally do, we put the facts in the middle and the dimensions will surround it. So let's go. Let's start. This one should be fast now. Okay, so I'm going to have my purchase order here. I'm going to have here's my vendor delivery. My vendor delivery will be here. right? Like this. Okay. I will have my dim vendor here at the side. My bridge table, I'm not going to be using this bridge table for now, and I will tell you why. I don't actually need a bridge table. I only need a bridge table if I want to get the number of contracted. And there's a way I need to model it for it to give me the insight that I want. Is it clear to us, guys? So I'll have the region new table here. Now my STD type 2 table is also going to be here like this. So this is what I have in my model, right? I'm going to be creating more tables so that you guys will understand what we are doing. So my fact table, vendor ID, this one will connect to each other. Vendor ID. I'm going to click on save, right? The product surrogate key will also come to the product with the product surrogate key in the STD type 2 table here. One-to-many relationship. Okay. The region table. Here's the region table. The region table, that's the location ID. We come to the fact table here. Right. Okay. Now, that is what I'll create. So I don't need this bridge vendor product for now. Right? Because it will cause many-to-many relationships. So I'm not using it for now. Now, how do we get the total number of products that has been contracted? That has been contracted. So let's go here to our report view. I'm going to bring in this matrix table. And I will have, so now, if I want to have a unique list of all the vendors, what table should I pick my vendor name from? Guys, what table?
Dim vendor?
From the vendor, okay? So I'll pick the vendor name here. Sorry. I'll bring the vendor name here to this matrix table. Why is it taking so much time to load? Okay. You all can see the vendor name, right? Vendor 1 to 6. Now, let's create a new table. Let's call it the HashDAX table. The HashDAX table. That's where we're going to store all our DAX. HashDAX, and I click on load. Now, to get contracted, look at the data model again, guys. If I want to count the contracted product counts per vendor, from which table will I get it from? From what you are seeing here. I want somebody else to answer, not Mr. Usman. There's been the one answering since. If I want to count the contracted products per each vendor, where will I get it from? What table will I get it from? From what you are seeing in the model. Stella, can you answer, please? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, Stella, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What table are we going to get the total number of products that was contracted per vendor?
Okay, I'm coming. Let me increase my screen size. My screen is
Okay, what about Idris Olaleko? What table are we going to see it from? The count of all the products that has been contracted to the vendor.
Is it from the DIM product SCD2?
That one is just a list of all the products and the way they are changing. You can't get it from that table. I mean, a count of products per vendor based on contracts. Contract may based on agreement with the company. Where are we going to see that?
Okay, is it the fact vendor delivery?
No. That is talking about the delivery that they've done. What we ordered, what they are delivering is that delivery table. Can somebody else try? Rofia, can you try?
Okay, sir. Is it the bridge vendor product table?
The bridge vendor product table. Thank you. Now, the problem we don't have here is this.
Sir.
This is where you're going to.
Sir, please, can I ask a question?
Please go ahead, Stella.
You said we are not using the bridge vendor table yet.
I said that intentionally, yes.
Okay.
I'm just trying to tweak your brain. Now, the bridge vendor table, don't forget that. Let me get you to that table so that you see how that table looks like. This bridge vendor table, the problem that we have with this table is that you have the vendor ID and the product ID. They are not unique. Vendor ID repeats several times because they have vendor and product as many-to-many relationship. They are different, one product, different vendor, one vendor, different products. Did you understand the idea, guys? But it is this table that will tell us the total number of contracted products per each vendor, right? Now, the problem that we now have is that we cannot model this table directly. Because of, so what people used to do is that before now, they will now go to the model and now connect product ID to this table, connect vendor ID to this table. We are not doing that because we have a better understanding of data model as a Power BI developer. So how are we going to now model this to give us our desired results? Now, not to cause complication for you, what you do is open a new layout here, right? Now, you will bring in 2 tables now. Yeah, sorry, like 4 tables here. You will bring in the purchase order table, right? You will bring in your STD type 2 table, the one that has unique this thing, like has different, that is not unique based on product ID. You bring in this. You will bring in the vendor table too. Aha. Now, there's something that you now need to do. It's called, you will create a table called the product master table. You see that product master table will now be a unique, you know that the product table that we have here, the list of the product ID is not unique because of STD type 2, changes in price. Now, you are now going to have what is called a product master table. That product master table is what will now connect to your purchase order table and your STD type 2 table. Does it make sense now? Okay. So I'm going to go back to my Power Query. I'm going to go to my Power Query. And what I'm going to do is that this vendor table, this, what do we call it? My STD type 2 product table, I will now right click. Instead of using duplicate, I'll use reference. So that if any changes happen in the original, it affects the reference one, right? I'll use reference. I will now call this one DIM Product Master. I will call it DIM. You will see how this one will solve the problem now. I will call this one DIM Product Master, and I will press enter. Now, what I will now do is that this one will now be its current will now only be equals to the current one, which is 1. Right? Only give me the ones that are current so that I can have. Well, this one does not really matter anyway. The main purpose is to just have a unique list of all the products because the STD type 2 one is not giving us that one. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Okay. So when we now have this one, we're not going to close and apply again. Close and apply again. Now that master table that just came in now that has a unique, distinct list of all the products. I'm now going to bring it to this place now. So I have the product, DIM Product Master. I will drag it into this place, and it's automatically connected by itself. So it will now connect to this, the dimension 2 one, based on what? To connect to it based on what? Based on product ID. Let me explain what I just did again. We want to get total number of products contracted, but the problem is that we cannot get it directly like that because of the bridge table that we have. So we have a bridge table that has it. The bridge table has vendor ID repeats several times, product ID repeats several times also. But we need to get contracted, distinct count of contracted per vendor. Now, what we'll now do is that we are going to create what's called a master product table. That one is not like the STD type 2 one that has product ID repeat several times. This one has a distinct list, or let me say unique list of all the products now. So we're not going to connect that to the STD type 2 one. And it's also going to connect also to, it's supposed to connect to the purchase table too. So I would go to find, where's the product ID? It will connect directly also to the purchase. Oh, I can't do that direct connection. Okay, don't worry. I think I know what to do when I get to my DAX. So this is how you are going to, now, is this part clear to us at all? Or is it looking complicated now? Do you understand the reason why we needed to create that DIM master, product master? I want to know whether you understand that part. Tell her, do you understand? You are shaking your head. Olubumi, do you understand?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. So let me go back to the initial model to explain again. We want to get contracted, total number of products as contracted per vendor. That is the word contract means what we have an agreement, a signed agreement that you'll be supplying us. The only table that now has that information is the bridge vendor product table. Now, if you look at the bridge vendor product table, is the vendor ID unique? Olubumi. Is it
no,
unique?
Sir, they are repeated. No.
They are repeated. Is the product ID too unique?
No, they are not.
No,
they are
there
not.
are
They are
duplications.
Yeah. Why are they repeated? Tell me. Olubumi.
Yes, because we have same products coming from different vendors.
Different vendors, thank you.
Yes.
So it means that different vendors are selling one product, and one product belongs to different vendor, vice versa, right? So in this scenario, there's no way we can connect this directly to the fact table, which is the purchase order table, right? If we say, okay, let's connect our dimension STD type 2 to this table, and now connect the vendor table 2 to this bridge table. The problem still lies that even the dimension product that we have, the product ID that is there is still not unique. Is it making sense to you now, Bumi? You know, in a normal scenario, what you will have done was to just connect product ID to this product vendor, this bridge table. Connect product ID to this bridge table from product table. Also connect vendor ID from vendor table to this bridge vendor table. But the problem is that the problem is this STD type 2 is the problem. Because if we do that, it's still going to give us many-to-many relationship, even when we are trying to connect this product, this product STD type 2 to the bridge table. It's still going to cause complication because it's going to give us many-to-many relationship. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Is it making sense to you now?
Yes.
If it's still not clear, should I re-explain again?
It's clear.
Okay. So that is the reason why we now need a table that has a unique list of all products. So it is that one we now call the DIM product master. The DIM product master will now connect to what am I doing? Sorry, let me be sure I'm doing the right thing. So the DIM product master will now connect to the bridge table. Yes, it will connect to the bridge table and also connect to it will connect to the STD type 2 table. Yeah, the bridge table. No, what am I doing? I'm supposed to bring this table here at all. So let me remove this one. This one is not supposed to be there. So what I'm supposed to have is Is that bridge table now? Remove from this diagram. Aha. So I will now bring in the bridge table now. Because that is where I have, sorry, I made a mistake in that part. I'm supposed to bring in this bridge table, not the STD type 2 one. So this one now, the product master will now connect to the bridge table, and the vendor too will connect to that table too. The vendor table too will connect to that bridge table. So this one now is giving us that one-to-one, that many one-to-many, relationship now. Is it clear what I just did? So because STD type 2 cannot connect to the bridge table, the product master is now the one connecting to it. And the vendor table 2 can now connect to it. Is it clear?
I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, when generating the DIM product master, is it that you remove duplicates after referencing the bridge table?
I just use the current one equals to 1. It's the same thing as removing duplicates. It does not really matter. Anyone you do is okay.
Okay, you filter to the current.
Yes, but if you remove duplicate too, it does not matter. What we just need is give me that unique list of all the products, and let's call that one product master. Bernard.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benga.
Yes,
now,
sir.
Concerning this bridge vendor products, does that mean the prices we have there are the current prices also? Because you call
this one does not concern price at all.
What do you say?
This master table does not have anything to do with price.
Okay.
The only reason why we created this is because our STD type 2, the initial product table that we had, cannot connect directly to the facts table. What am I saying? The STD type 2 that we have, right, cannot connect directly to the bridge table because of repetition of IDs, of the product ID. Let me come again. You see this bridge table you are seeing here, the bridge that combines vendor and product together. The problem there is this. We cannot connect the initial product table that we have, this product table. We cannot connect it directly to this bridge vendor product table. It's because of the product ID repeating. That's the problem. That is why we have to create a master one that can connect directly to the bridge vendor product table. Is it clear to you, Bernard?
Yeah, I understand.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because of the STD type 2.
Thank you. Because of the STD type 2, that's the problem. Because this is the only table, this bridge vendor product, this is the only table that can give us contracted, and that can give us, sorry, hold on, guys. Sorry for the delay, guys. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear me.
If it's not clear, I will sit down with you today to make it clear to you, because this one of the issues that people usually have when it comes to Power BI is usually this modeling. That's why we are making it our second most important topic in this bootcamp. Because the data, so if you have a very good foundation of dimensional modeling, it will allow you, it will help you to be able to model any kind of scenario. So whether the data engineer, if he likes, he can provision the table anyhow he wants to provision it. You as a Power BI developer will be able to walk around the table and restructure it in a way that you are going to be able to see your insight from it. Do you understand the reason for why you are doing this? Everybody is dull, oh. Try. Mr. Osman, is it complicated?
No, for me, it's not complicated. So basically, this is what you are trying to do.
Okay.
You need a table that has the unique values. So because we are trying to solve a problem, the problem is that we have a product that is changing based on the price. Now, because this product is changing based on the price, then you introduce the product surrogate key, which is the unique identifier for that product. Now, this same dimension table, this product table, because it has multiple products, and also because your vendor, one vendor can sell multiple products, right? And one product can also be sold by multiple vendors. So we need the unique number of products assigned to one vendor. Okay. Or we need the unique number of vendor assigned to multiple products. So because we want to solve that, we need that unique, which means we want to remove all the duplicates, right? And because you have a table that has a flag called is current in the product table, you now use that column is current to be equals to 1 to give us the latest product ID or the most recent product ID.
Sorry to stop you, sir. Yeah. You see that part? I don't want that part to confuse people. You can as well just do remove duplicates. Don't let that part confuse us, please.
So now, when you now remove the duplicate, that is when you now connected the bridge vendor products to the purchase order fact table and also to the dim vendor table to create that relationship.
Thank you.
Okay. So, and when you create the relationship, you also have a new table called the product master table, which contains unique values, okay, for each of the products. Okay. So it is now this dim product master table now that you will now use in your original model.
So the STD type 2.1 is still in our original model.
Yes, it's still there. But don't forget, when you are creating this one, this product master, you did not create it as a duplicate. You create it as a reference. So that if any changes is going on in the STD type 2 table,
it will reflect on this dynamically. One by the virtue of dependency.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's it.
Thank you. I have to move fast now so we can end it. I have another class. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to so now the deep master, the product master table is now connecting to the bridge one. Also the vendor connecting to the bridge table too. Now, let me do it like this so that you guys can see it clearly. I'm just separating it in this side. It will also reflect here. It's just for you guys to understand so that it will not be complicated when I'm doing it on this main one. So whatever I do here still reflects on this part. Don't get it wrong, right? So now, the next thing I want to now do is to calculate the number of, So
I have a question. On the main table.
Yes, go ahead.
On the main table, can you show us that relationship from the bridge table? On the all table. Yes.
See it now.
There's a relationship going. Can you scroll to the right? Let's see which table is connecting to.
The product master.
Okay, now it's connecting to the product master. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So now vendor table and the new master product table is connected directly to the vendor, to the bridge one. Now, do you understand it? Same thing we did here is just reflecting in this side. is the same thing. Let's go ahead. So we want to now get total number of contracted. So we'll come here now, new measure, and we'll say, we'll call it contracted. Let me make it bigger so that you guys can see clearly. And you guys see my measure. Okay. So this one will now be a distinct count of what? Can somebody try? I want to get the total contracted. It will be a distinct count of what? Of the product bridge ID in the bridge table.
Yeah.
Because the bridge table is where it gives us the contract information.
Yeah, the bridge vendor product table.
Yes, I want to make sure I'm looking the right thing. Product ID from the bridge table. Now I press enter. I'm going to bring that measure here. Now you see that vendor 1 is only 4 products that we have contracted with the guy. The vendor 2, just 5. Vendor 3, just 3. Let's go and confirm whether what I was doing is right. So let's go to the bridge table now. Let's click on vendor 1. How many tables are we contracting with vendor 1 that you are seeing here?
4 products.
How many? Sorry?
4 products.
Oh, thank you.
4 products.
Why is it possible for us to have this number correct? It's because of our model. Now, we are picking vendor name from where? From the vendor table, right? We are doing our distinct counts from where? Referencing the bridge table. Yes. Does that make sense to us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, let's go. You will now see where this now makes sense. When we start doing contracted and procured. Contracted and not procured. That's when you now see the essence of that, all the modeling thing we've been doing here now. So let's go ahead. So now we want to get procured. What will be the formula for procured?
Okay, another measure. So
can somebody try? What will be the formula for procured now? What do we reference for procured? Can somebody try? Francis.
That will be the first step.
Okay, go ahead, Olubunmi.
I need to say that would be the fact table.
The fact table. So what do we do? What do we do here? How do we count the procured? You're almost there, Bumi. Just try. You're almost there.
Count rows.
Count rows. We want to get total procured. Though. You're not going to use count rows. Francis, can you try? Francis. We cannot hear you. You are still muted. Aha. How do we get procured? So we already gave us an answer. You said fact table. What do we do in the fact table? It will be a distinct count of what?
The fact table, the vendor ID.
Of the vendor, okay, vendor product.
Not vendor ID. We are going to be using the product surrogate key to get total number of procured product from the vendor. So product SK, close brackets, press enter. You know, the only thing representing product there is the product SK, right?
Yeah.
Aha. But now there's a problem. I will show you something. Can you tell me that this is correct? Actually correct. If we use the SK, can we say it is correct?
I think this one has duplicate.
This one has duplicate, Abby. So what do you think we're not going to do?
So okay.
Huh? Oh yeah, guys, let's go. How do we get procured? You say you cannot use product SK because of what? Because product SK is repetition, Abi, based on changes in price. So I will tell you what we are going to do. We are going to now go back to our Power Query. Go back to our Power Query. We'll now go and bring product ID back inside the purchase order table. We are almost done. We'll bring the product, we'll bring it back. So what we'll now do is that we'll say, where's that my product purchase? My order table. So I will do merge query. I'll merge query. I'm merging query with the which table should I merge query with? That's the bridge table. It's the one that has that. Here's my bridge table. So they both have SK.
Yes, you can feed the attendance. So.
So I want to return the product ID now. That's what I want to return. I can't use product SK because of repetition. So I'll come, what I want to return is just a product ID. And I'm going to click on OK. Right? Okay. So I'm going to close and load. So I'm not going to change my procured formula now. It's now going to be, I'm not going to be counting, I'm going to do a distinct count on the product ID now, not the product SK. Is it clear to us, guys?
Okay.
Right? So this will now tell me what we actually procured. Now, this is not the correct one. Now, the issue here is that you see that we contracted 4, but they are supplying 9. Right? We contracted 5 from this guy, he's supplying 10. We contracted 3. This guy is supplying 9. So that means they're supplying products that are not, and I'll tell you the reason why this usually happens. I've worked in procurement before. So maybe you bought, just an example, a product, and the size is 20 CL. It's 20 CL. The vendor now says, Mr. Lagwaja, manager of procurement, I don't have 20 CL again, but I have 10 CL of the same products. You know that when he supplies 10 CL, the quantity is going to be more. Am I correct, Bernard? When he supplies a lesser size, so let's say he maybe originally the guy bought 200 packs of 20 CL. The vendor now says, I don't have 200 packs. I can give you the same thing for the 10 CL size. How many would he now supply for 10 CL, Bernard?
That would be like times 2.
That's 400 now, right?
Yeah.
Now, the problem is that in our contract, that 10 CL might not be there. So it's not as if this guy did not supply. He supplied. It's just that he did not supply the exact one that we have in the agreement, which is what our data is capturing in the vendor / the vendor product bridge table. Do you understand the point now, guys? So these things usually happen in procurement scenario for the very way. And those that are working in procurement here can testify to what I'm saying. Am I correct? Am I lying? Anyone here that is in procurement? Okay, let's go. The next thing we now want to calculate now is our, what's it called? We want to calculate contracted and procured is the next thing that we now want to calculate. So how do we calculate contracted and procured? So I'm going to come here. So far we understand the metrics. It's easier for us to use that to interpret it. So we say contracted. I was typing, I didn't know that this thing is not. Contracted and procured. How do we get that? So we are going to say calculate, right? Told you guys last year. We're going to calculate the product ID inside the bridge Why is it not showing me the table name first? Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. It's supposed to be the extent, sorry, the extent counts of the product ID inside the, what's it called? The bridge vendor table, right? That one gives us contracted automatically. But we want contracted, and it means that what we contracted and we actually procured it, right? Now, it's going to give me this. Now, I'm now going to use treat as to create what is called like a cross join relationship between the bridge vendor table and the purchase order table, right? So I'm now going to say treat as values, right? I'm now going to call out what? The product table in the bridge vendor table and, oh, sorry, close brackets here. And what? And the product table, product ID, sorry, coming from the fact table, the purchase order table. I will explain this formula now. You guys will understand what I'm doing. Now, if you look at, it's saying calculate for me a distinct count of all the contracted. Now, how do I've gotten, with that one, I can get contracted, right? It's the bridge vendor table that has that. I now want to also get not just contracted alone, but contracted and procured. What we've contracted and we've now finally procured. So I now have to create a relationship between the product ID in the bridge vendor table with the product ID in the fact table. So you know that normally what we are doing is like a cross join, because if you do this, if we connect these two normally, what would have happened was it would have given us a many-to-many relationship, right? But we are trying to manipulate the filter context for us to be able to achieve what we want to achieve of getting contracted and procured. That's why we have to now use treat as to create like a virtual relationship between the bridge vendor table and the purchase order table. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you guys? If it's not clear, please let me know. The class is silent. Okay. So I'm not going to drag this one here. So you can see from here. Sorry, hold on, guys. Give me a minute. So you will see that everything that we contracted is what we procured. Is that clear? That's why you see that this contracted is, the numbers are still repeating here. Do you understand why the numbers are still repeating? Do you understand why? Isaiah, you are shaking your head. You are mute, oh guy. Everything that we contracted is what we procured. The only issue we have is that there are some There are some that we did not contract at all and we are procuring. That's why you are saying procured is more than uncontracted. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's move on to, because we are at our time is past spent, I need to be in another class now. Let's move to contracted and not procured now. Contracted and not procured. New measure. We'll say contracted. Oh my God. Contracted and not procured. Right? So that one will now be what? Our contracted product that we got. The contracted minus the contracted and procured is what will give us contracted and not procured. Is that clear? We want to get contracted and not procured. It's going to be our contracted minus the contracted and procured. That will give us contracted and not procured. Is that clear? Okay. Let's move fast. So I'm going to bring this and drop here. So you see that contracted and not procured is a 0. Tell me why it's giving us a 0.
Yeah, because all that was contracted were procured.
Was procured. So there's no one that was contracted that wasn't procured. Right? Yeah. That's why it's returning a 0. Now, the last one that we will now do, is the not contracted and procured.
That is procured, yes, not contracted.
So this one will be what, sir? Can you say it again?
Procured, not contracted. So that will be procured, not contracted. So it will be procured minus contracted.
I'm coming, sir. Hold on, sir. Not contracted and procured. That means we didn't contract it with the vendor, but we procured it. Yes. So that will be what, sir?
Procured minus contracted.
Procured minus what?
Contracted.
Are you sure?
Procured. Yes, minus contracted and procured.
Okay, correct. It will now be procured minus contracted and procured. Will give us contracted and not procured. Does it make sense to you guys? This is kind of insight you can be giving stakeholders if you're in a procurement unit of an organization. You can tell your stakeholder, this is what is going, this is the scenario going on in terms of procurement analysis. We have products that were initially in agreement. We had those that are procured. Why are we having numbers that are higher? We should be having lesser or the same, right? To see how we are fully utilizing our contracts with the vendor, right? We now have this. We now have contracted and procured. It means that there's a contract, an agreement between us and the company and the vendor. We are contracting it and we are procuring it. You can see that. You can say, okay, so they can say, oh, I see that, for example, we have 15 contracted, only 10. Why are we not buying the remaining 5 from that vendor? Now, we now start asking questions. Is it because the vendor does not have it or it does not always have it? Should we remove the contract from the vendor? What can we do to readjust our strategy, our procurement strategy? These and more. You are going to be using data to answer questions. And they are going to be using your suggestions to make better business decision. Does it make sense, guys? I think we are coming to the end of today's class. If you have any questions, please let me know. So we've come to the end of our procurement analysis. Any questions so far? What's your feedback? Is it complicated? Is it simple? Do you need to go and read more about data modeling for you to understand it better? Stella, what's your take? You are moved, Stella.
I guess I'll have to study more data modeling.
Yeah. So I'll send the textbook to you guys, Dimensional Modeling, the Ralph Kimber. I'll send it to you. You guys need to start reading that book. You understand all these concepts better. You understand OLTP, you understand OLAP, you understand a lot of different keys, different grains of dimension, different grains of facts that we have. It will really expose you to a lot of things. So that when you have that, see, modeling is not a Power BI thing, it's a concept, right? When you have a good foundation of modeling, no matter how the data is, you'll be able to model and make sense out of it. Is it clear to you, Stella? Is it clear to everyone? Okay. So, guys, thank you once again for staying by. For those that are not on their video, I had to take them out of the class so that tomorrow they will take it serious. So, also, no, that will be next week, Saturday. So, thank you, guys. See you next week.
Mr. Bega, the recordings.
The recording is not going to be in public for now. That's why you have to be in the class. Okay. I understand your style. So that you not join again. You're going to be watching on YouTube.
What about the data set?
I will share that with you with the case study.
And the book you said you are going to sell. Yes,
I will send everything to the organizers. I'm not the organizer. I'm just a trainer. Isaiah and Chidima, they are the organizers. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for staying by. See you next week Saturday for deployment pipeline in Power BI.
Thank you, Mr. Vega.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.